For 7 generations, our recipe has remained the same. We have never wavered. We have never compromised. You can see it on our labels, smell it as you cook it, and taste it in every bite. It's our family tradition to never settle for less, and neither should you. Breakfast better with Jones.
Something amazing is happening in meteorology. Climate researchers are successfully processing a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their laptop devices and infrastructure to pre-configured Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions. By delivering faster insights to run more accurate forecast models, it's almost like they're controlling the weather themselves. Lenovo and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/Lenovo Client.
It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
First of all, there will be no flipping of lights on and flipping of lights off, of course. That will all be scheduled within the Govee app.
And again,
thank you very much.
I'm over here scratching an armpit with my foot. I'm just a real idiot. But
I feel bad for you.
And Steve.
There's a sense of disappointment in those, 6 to 11-year-olds' faces, because the 12-year-old, they're walking 3 steps on your driveway and whipping that over their shoulder and never acknowledging it again.
Yeah, there's a reason I have to go up on the roof once a year and clean dum-dum suckers out of my gutters.
That's right. Like November 15 comes by and Steve's phone goes off and it's an alarm. To get the ladder, you gotta go broom the dum-dums off the top.
Now, here they are, 2 guys who are living in style, Steve and Kyle.
Why did I have dum-dums on my roof? I forget. Was I giving them out?
I believe last year I had noticed a bag of dum-dums on your premises. And I had to approach you about it because once you become Dum-Dum Halloween house.
Oh, boy. Yeah,
I don't know if there's coming back from that.
I think we did this year, though. If you did indeed see dum-dums last year, we did not have dum-dums this year. We had the classic A bag, the A bit of candy.
Okay.
The Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the Snickers, M&Ms, all the good stuff.
The fun size good stuff, right?
Fun size, yeah.
Well, and that's fair. I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, look, not all of us benefit financially from the denial of mortgage after mortgage after mortgage. Because as we know, for every mortgage you deny, you keep money from them.
That's how it works.
It's right in the pocket of the big banker.
Straight benefit to me. The pandemic was good.
We've talked about it numerous times.
It was a good thing, right? We can all agree.
Couple new cars, a refi. What percentage rate? What do you?
My car?
No, your house, your mortgage.
Good news on the car, Steve. Money thanks to sports gambling. The car no longer has a payment.
Oh, very nice.
And the house, is it sub 3? Yeah. Are other people struggling to buy their first home today at 6 to 7?
It is weird when you see those TikToks or Reels and they say something like, "Must suck for all those people who refinanced in 2021 and they're stuck in their house forever." And I'm just sitting here saying, well, I've refinanced in 2021. We're at 2.875, knocked down to 20 years, so 17 years remaining. No plans on moving. So, I'm pretty happy. Are you trying to tell me that I'd be happier at 6.25% on a massively overvalued house?
Just because you don't have the option of buying a new house right now? Yeah. Unbelievable.
Boy, that would be terrible to sell my house and get, the extra $150,000 in equity. Boy, I'm in a tough spot.
What am I going to do with this boatload of cash I'm swimming in? I don't even know if it'll fit in my wallet.
But hey, if that makes you feel better, if you're the person posting that, and that makes you feel better, I'm happy for you.
Happy daylight saving time Sunday to you, Steve.
Oh, thank you. Can't be said enough. The old DSTS.
Yeah, I was thinking about it this morning. I'm glad you asked. Mm-hmm. I think the clock.
Are we going to have this debate?
No. By the way, if you have that debate, stop it. Yeah. Stop it. We moved past it.
Originally so kids could help on the farm.
The thing is, you won't hear about it now. Well, no, you will hear about it now. I thought most people complained about it because they lose that hours. Like a bunch of grumpy Gus's come March because, I'm losing my hour of sleep. And so then typically that Monday, you'll see one opportunistic congressperson go out there and say, well, I'm introducing a bill tomorrow. And then you won't hear anything about it until 1 year later. Mm-hmm. But I thought about it this morning and I thought, you know what? Of your wall amenities, I'm confident saying that the clock is the cock of the walk.
I don't know what that means.
Think about it.
Of the wall amenities,
well, anything
the
else,
clock is the cock of the walk.
Yeah, and I'll post it on the poll.
Of all of the wall amenities.
The wall amenities is the clock, the cock of the walk.
By the way, did our clock up here, did it automatically update?
I didn't check. We've had enough issues with that thing that I'm trying to be hands off with it.
We might need to look into a new one.
That's right.
Trevor.
You got all of your things, whether your pictures, whatever you got on your mantle, hanging high, your lights. But what else gets the attention? More than your clock that's on the wall. Right? You're checking. Granted, we all have our phones and stuff, but what else are you're not spending time looking at your fake plants or whatever, if you've got any of that.
Yeah.
Like any of your, the kids' crappy artwork that you've hung up to try to be kind.
Right. Keep going. You're convincing me.
But if you're in a pinch, maybe your phone's on the charger. Maybe you're like, oh boy, God, that looks a little dark out. What time is it? You're looking at that clock.
You are.
That and you know what? What else on your wall is getting lifted up? If you have an analog clock, what else is getting taken off the wall and getting personal attention twice a year, Steve?
You can stop. You've turned me. You flipped me.
My wife didn't want to have this discussion, mostly because she was probably filing divorce papers. As I tried to tell her that the clock...
So this is round 2 of your clock is the cock of the walk debate today?
I just needed a more receptive audience to this idea that there's nothing else on the wall that gets the attention in the... Like, when we all go to sleep, because I'm assuming this is much like Toy Story, when we go to sleep or when we go away and all of the wall amenities start,
coming alive and doing their thing.
The clock is the one talking down to all the other guys.
Oh, boy.
Right? What are those fake little, they can be fake, but the tiny little plants that go in the little pot, what do you call those?
Like a succulent?
Succulent, yeah. All those fake succulents that are parked in different spots. Those idiots, they don't get looked at, they don't get touched, they don't need water because they're fake.
So you think that the clock is talking down to the fake succulents?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'll post that in the poll as well.
Okay. Look, man, I didn't realize that you were coming out of the gate swinging today with these heavy hitters.
Yeah, I don't want to come to you like the overbearing patriarch of the group here, but I've been married longer than you, Steve.
Sure, yeah. You got we got like 2 years on us.
Yeah, we were May of 15. You were November of 17.
17, right? Yeah.
So I can't wait for in about 2 years you to come to me and go, I've got a thought. And it's about wall amenities.
Okay. All right, well, if one of us could set a reminder, or, something listeners are always good at reminding us of the stupid things that we said.
2 years, 6 months. That's so in 30 months, Steve, I'm going to get something on my phone, say, ask Steve about wall amenities, and we're both going to sit here and look at each other and try to figure that out.
All right, so we're looking at, 2027? 2028?
Yeah. Oh, God, there's no way, right?
2027. Yeah, so... May, roughly?
Well, yeah, hopefully if it's in 6 months, hopefully it would be right around the time of when we, turn the clocks forward. So we can then talk about the clock again, because that's a natural conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Look, seems like we got the A-bit built in for episode I don't know. What's that? 30 months times 4. That's 120 more episodes. So episode 660, the A-bit, is already
locked in,
already figured out.
Yeah. How does everything go around you? Do you guys have you decided to start planning ahead for daylight saving time with the kids?
No, we do nothing differently.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Boy, last year, again, this is where that just that little tiny extra little bit of experience comes in. I'm glad you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
That
please, I'm here to learn.
I think you'll get to that point, and maybe it's not this year. Maybe it's next year, where maybe it's Evelyn, maybe it's Nikki B at the Berlin Wall, and they're going to rise when their body tells them to rise, and you realize it's like 5:15 in the morning, and you thought, oh no, now I've done it.
They were up a little bit. I mean, naturally, they were up a little bit early today, but we just didn't go downstairs.
Okay.
We just didn't go into their rooms.
It wasn't like 4:30 in the morning.
No.
I'm hungry for breakfast.
They're pretty much like clockwork. They'll get up between 7:15 and 7:30 pretty much every day. Okay. And we noticed Evelyn was stirring probably around a little before 7, which
not terrible.
Yeah, it was perfectly fine. And we just let them stew in it for another 20 minutes or a half hour. They just don't. Neither of them are. When they wake up, neither of them are just like, I need to get out of here. They are both perfectly content, just kind of laying in the bed, laying in there for a while, and that's really nice.
I may be scarred because last year it felt like it carried for about a month after the time switch because we did what you did. We didn't really do anything differently last year, but then for about a month. It felt like every morning it was barely 6.
Yeah.
And during the week, like for you during the week, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
already gone.
I'm already at work.
Yeah, you're already an hour deep into wiping walls.
I am in the trenches.
The trenches with feet. I mean, you're wiping, you're scooping, you're shoveling. The feces got to get moved.
Exactly. If you pause for just a second, that trench is going to be filled with feces.
Yeah. You're not getting an argument from me. But on those weekends, when it's like barely 6 o'clock, or for me during the week when we don't have to be up that early, and it's like 6 o'clock and the door opens, you're like, oh no. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's just me because I'm already having thoughts about how bad the night's going to be. Mm-hmm. Because I know while he's up early, he's going to run out of gas early because he's a 6-year-old boy who just does nothing but scream, sprint, throw, fight, yell, all of that stuff. At 6:30 tonight, he's going to be like dead on his feet or just a constant jerk, which is what happens with kids. and I don't want to have to deal with that.
Sure.
So this year, we planned ahead.
You drug him?
Well, we drug him every night anyway.
Okay.
Melatonin.
Boom.
Kids, whatever. They sell them on Amazon and at the Costco, all the wholesale clubs, like 1 milligram or whatever. Nighttime gum. Boy, does he love those.
We are so fortunate that our kids give us plenty of issues throughout the day.
Yeah.
But the one thing that has always been pretty good with them is once you get them, it may take a little while to get them to lay down in bed.
Yeah.
But once they do, for the most part, they're content. They'll lay there. They'll fall asleep. It's very rare that 2 hours after you put them to bed, they're still flipping and flopping around.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, I mean, do the little nighttime gum, the little melatonin, and then, that we mix NyQuil with chocolate milk. And
that sounds terrible.
Kids love it. I got to tell
you. I'm just, whether your thoughts on it are good or bad, I don't care.
You're just talking about
I'm
the taste.
just worried about the taste.
Right. Going down. Medicine grade mixed with chocolate.
Not good.
For us, not great.
Not good at all.
Yeah, for us, not great.
All right, that concludes our bi-yearly generic talk about daylight saving time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and abolish it.
Yeah, no, I'm against whatever your side is.
Makes me want to put on our poll, like, daylight savings time, keep it or get rid of it, waka waka, because it feels like a Fozzie Bear thing. Like, it's just, everybody mentions it.
Oh, maybe post this. Daylight saving time. Am I right?
There we go.
But it has to be AMIRIGHT, like all one word. Question mark, exclamation mark.
There we go. Perfect. Got it. It's posted. We went too far even last week. There were no updates that I saw on social media during the week.
and you told me you needed to reveal to me on this podcast about the conclusion of the Govee saga.
Oh, boy.
And just please check our social media, because we will schedule to be posted about how Steve ended up executing the final piece of the Govee project here at Casa de Steve, the manor. Mm-hmm. And if you ever needed reinforcement to understand that this cul-de-sac in this neighborhood truly looks over here and says, my God, what's happening? This photograph is it. People need to see the final execution of how this went down. And I don't even want to give any spoilers. I don't want to describe the photo. I don't want to give any hints as to what needed to take place. I'll just say this. What had been talked about for, I believe, on the podcast, that you had to go rent a large ladder.
I did.
The largest ladder that they would probably rent, right?
They had one bigger. I rented a 24-foot extension ladder.
That's a big ladder.
That's a big ladder. Now, before I went there, I had measured what the peak of my roof was. So I went up on the roof and basically just dropped a tape measure all the way down to the ground. And it was like 26 and a half feet or something.
Yeah, and you can cover the last 2.5 with your body.
Well, that's what I was like, okay, a 24-foot ladder, but then you got to factor in the angle, the old Pythagorean theorem. Mm-hmm. So if I'm keeping it 6 feet away at the base, and then I knew it was going to be close. So I went to the shop, and I said, hey, I need to rent a ladder. And they said, okay, well, we got a 24-foot, and we have a 32-foot.
Did they start you with like the 6 foot though? Because I'm assuming there's people, whether you're in an apartment or whatever, people might not have ladder. So
you can go to this place and rent like hammers and screwdrivers. I mean, they have it all.
So this girl at the desk probably says, "Oh, okay, a 6-footer," and you laughed in her face, and you said, "No."
I actually spit in her face.
That's right. So you spit in her face, and said, "I'm a Goveesman."
Basically, she's like, "All right, well, what do you need?" I said, I need to get up 26 feet. And she said, okay, well, we have a 24-footer and a 32-footer. Mm-hmm. Now,
you thought
for me,
about it, didn't you?
Well, I would have, but they would not let me rent it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
What? Now I'm appalled on your behalf, and I'm ready to go write a bad review.
So for these ladders, they're extension ladders. Now, you can get an extension ladder where it's like just 2 sections, or you can get a 3-section extension ladder. So I was like, oh, well, if that 32-footer is a 3-section one, I'll take it, because then you figure it's going to be 3 sections of approximately 10 to 11 feet, which would have fit in the back of the Comanche just fine. But it was a 2-section, so even folded in half, or even completely collapsed, it's going to be 16 feet long. And they took one look at the Comanche and they said, we cannot rent you a 16-foot ladder for a truck with a 6-foot bed.
Did you give him a little come on?
I did. Because the 2 women that work at the desk are big fans
of the Stephen Cobb podcast.
They're big fans of the side gig.
Yeah, good, big fans of the pod.
So they said, we can't rent you that. You'll have to rent a separate trailer. I was like, I am not renting a trailer just to put a ladder in it. Not happening. I said, what about the 24-footer? They said, it's cutting it pretty close. And here's what I did. Just kind of put my elbows down on the counter. I said,
give a little wink, a little nod, a little,
come on. For me?
You're a fan of the monkeys, right? Wink, wink.
And then they said, okay, go back and talk to Raphael. If Raphael says that it seems safe.
Well, yeah. You always trust the judgment of the Ninja Turtles.
If Raphael says that it's safe, we'll rent you the 24-footer. Mm-hmm. So I drove back.
Boy, and now you're just crossing your fingers, right? Hoping Raphael is also listening to the side gig.
I said, Raphael, what do you think? He put that thing right in the back of my truck. He said, strap it down, keep it under 90.
Okay. So Raphael, not a safety executive.
I just laughed as I said, you think this thing could hit 90?
If you were to go today and take out all of the extra, and I put amenities in the world's biggest air quotes from the Comanche, what do you think that thing would top out at on the highway tomorrow?
I think I'd hit 80.
You could you think, would it be like
Would the Comanche be physically struggling if it was at 80?
I would not be the most comfortable person behind the wheel.
Right. Do you think you'd be fighting the wheel a little bit even and fighting?
No.
Like, would it be vibrating?
It would. I mean, it would be loud.
Sure. Like, it wouldn't be a family ride.
No.
Like, unless you wanted to terrify your family.
I mean,
right.
Look, whatever they want.
That's right. Okay. So the Ninja Turtle says, take this puppy away. You're paid. Let's go.
Yeah, so for $19, I had this baby for 3 hours.
Okay.
Got home and started, obviously, on the lower portion. So I'll point out here on the picture. So obviously I started here.
Right.
Because right around the corner was
towards the front of the house.
Right around the corner was where I connected to my last string. Bring it all the way up here. And I was probably 4 bulbs in. 4 or 5 bulbs right around this area here.
Yeah.
Where I started getting a little bit worried.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at that point, the ladder was pretty much fully extended. I might have had one more rung to take it.
Yeah. Well, you're a hands-on guy, too. So you're doing the math and the physics in your head of where you are on the ladder and where you need to go still. So it's not hard to deduce what will need to happen for you. Yeah. And your options are grow 3 feet in the next 5 minutes. Right. Uh-huh. Or decide if you're going to do the old hop and stick.
Well, that was not happening because we had a couple of very windy days here.
It was
last
nasty
week,
this
and
week,
this was one of them.
Yeah, you picked a perfect day.
So I'm up there, 24 feet up.
Yeah,
and the wind kicks up, and I have both hands on the wall, like a cop is behind me saying, hands on the wall. Yeah, and I'm just standing there saying, please, 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 please.
Now, is the family out? Are they like watching you finish this, or are they inside?
Annette was outside.
As support or like doing something else?
Well, Evelyn was at school.
Okay.
It was a nice day despite it being windy. So Evelyn was out, or Nikki was out front playing. Annette was out front with him. And so while I was doing the lower section, she was like, oh, no big deal. Everything good. You need me to hold the ladder? I was like, no, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Once I realized, though, that... Do you want me to say what I had to do?
Well,
once I realized I needed to up my game a bit, she had gone inside. I made some adjustments to the ladder. Yeah. She came back out and just said, what the hell are you doing?
Steve had to back the Comanche up in his yard so he could put the ladder in the Comanche.
I needed the extra 2 feet. It wasn't going to happen without it.
And when you look at it, if you listen to this podcast and you see this photo, I've never felt more justified in the years of rankling. I mean, this is the newer version of the cartoon we made of you wearing the federal boob inspector shirt,
Look,
like adjusting an antenna wearing Crocs on a Sunday.
If this is your only interaction ever with this with this podcast, then everything you've said about me is 100% accurate.
I can't even look at it without laughing because, dude, it's still that's still tenuous at best in terms of a setup with reaching the top. So both of your hands are holding on to what amounts to nothing.
One hand is holding on to the actual, my hand is on the soffit or on the fascia board, holding on there. Because when you get up to the top of the ladder, obviously you're as close as you can be to the wall. But since there's that weird angle, it's very difficult. It's awkward to stand up there. So I'm up there. I look down into the backyard. And what do I see? I see my beautiful wife taking pictures of me.
Now, was she smiling like, I can't believe this is happening?
No,
was she filled with terror? Because I saw this, and after laughing, I can already tell you. Never. I would never have done. I would have either called a professional, or I just wouldn't have done it. I'm too terrified to get on those type of ladders, which the inherent nature of those extension ladders is that they extend and make it kind of one wide. They're not too wide.
You get to this middle point here, about 12 feet up, and it's like you're on a trampoline.
Yeah, you feel every one of your steps is bouncing off of the house.
So I turn and I see her taking pictures of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I need to document this because I can't believe it.
Well, and second, when you need to file that claim for life insurance, you need to have some evidence of what went down.
I'm assuming that it was for the insurance agent.
Right.
That she was just texting it to him saying, can you up our premium ASAP?
Heads up, gonna need a little topper, like when you go to when you're at a chain restaurant in a tourist town. You want a topper on that frozen slushie?
Yeah, exactly.
We need a topper on the life insurance policy just to make sure whatever this is covered.
Yeah. So, lo and behold, I was successful.
How long were you up at the peak? Like, how long were you on what looks to be, I would guess, second rung from the top?
Second or third.
How long were you at that point finishing the job up top?
15 to 20 minutes.
That's, oh boy. I think I'd have given it, no, I understand the level of work going on to it. In my head, that's 3 minutes for me. I'm like, what am I doing? Because your body's tense, your body's fully extended, you're trying to do what needs to be done. So,
Look, man, the worst part about it was, because I had to put those little pieces of trim in between all of the lights.
Yeah.
The whole reason for this escapade.
Let's rehash the word had.
Really wanted to.
Felt like you needed to.
I did. Will you not say that it looks 1,000 times better?
It looks. I think it would have looked fine. I think it would have looked good without it.
Yeah, but it looks much better with it.
I think, especially up here, I think I'd be comfortable saying it would have been more noticeable here had you not done it because of the white rope in between.
So I got up there. And I was the whole time I'm worried. I'm like, oh man, am I going to have to cut one of these? Am I going to have to cut a couple bulbs off the end? Because if I do, that adds a whole other layer. Then I have to cut. I have to strip some wires back. I have to solder. And I would have had to do all of that on the ladder. That can't be done on the ground at this point because it's like, put up a bulb, screw it in, go to the next one. I would have had to take all of them down. So I finally finished, and it was... The spacing was perfect. Okay. Didn't have to cut a thing. Actually, I went maybe 2 inches too far. Yeah. Because the last bulb is actually on the downslope of the backside of the roof. So I got that thing done. I got down off the ladder. I returned to the ladder.
Was your body like not shaking from like fear or anything, but shaking from just the rigidity and everything you'd had? Yeah. So you're coming down. You're like, oh yeah, now my body's weak, and because of the death scenario I was in up top. Yeah,
perfect. So I get to the bottom. I return the ladder because I only had like a half hour to get it back before the place closed. Come back, and I was like, "Here we go, time to fire it up."
So it's the afternoon still.
It's the afternoon, yeah, probably 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and look, I'm a Goviesman, as you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no question about that.
So, as you know, when I go into the app, I have to add another segment to my lights. So what you do, you open up the app, you hit refresh.
Pair them together, whatever you do.
Hit refresh.
Yeah.
The whole strand blinks like it's supposed to do. Then it shuts off. I thought, that's weird. Oh, no. Try to turn it back on. Nothing.
And these were directly from the Govie website. These are OGGs.
OGGs. Go inside. I unplug the little controller, plug it back in. Lights come back on, except for that last section.
Yeah.
Okay. Go into the app again. Hit refresh. App crashes. Lights blink. Turn off. Don't come back on. So now I'm thinking, son of a bitch, this was all for nothing.
And all of your bulbs are now
nothing is working.
Yeah. The holidays are ruined.
This is day before Halloween.
Yes.
My line in the sand was Halloween. Nothing's working. Finally, I go into the app. I delete the whole segment of lights altogether. I add it back in. Hit that button. Every single light comes on.
Hey!
Halloween is saved.
All right, Steve saved Halloween.
I think I could say that.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
All right, I like that. I mean, Halloween. It was on the ropes.
It was,
but I saved it.
But now for the moment of truth, because this is what I've been waiting for. Because we talked on this podcast when I got you into light culture a handful of years ago.
LC. Yeah. By the way, I need to know, do I have my old lights? Are they C7s or C9s?
I have to take a look.
We'll
the C9s are going to be pretty darn big bulbs.
I don't know if you're a frequenter to Marketplace, but keep an eye out for a deal.
A hot deal.
A little bit later today.
Now, apologies, because it won't be the deal of the century. That has already happened numerous times over. And also, you're talking to a seasoned marketplaceman.
Look.
He's not going to be giving you the deal of the century.
It's currently November 3rd. This is peak posting lights time.
Yep. Right now, you're sitting off the back of a big boat in the ocean.
Yeah.
And you just chummed the waters by waiting until early November.
Goddamn right.
So when you joined LC a handful of years ago.
What was that again?
Light Culture.
Light Culture.
Too many abbreviations in this podcast.
Yeah.
You spent a lot of time on the peak of that roof, hooking clips in. You had to buy extra clips to fit on the peak of the roof.
Yeah.
And you bought all of the beautiful...
It's all included, by the way. All included. I got an all-inclusive deal.
Sales. Come on, people. Marketplace.
If you're out there and you're interested in roughly 300 feet of sea...
Shipping not included.
7s or 9s.
Big bulbs. Big-ish bulbs.
Yeah, biggish bulbs. White. Soft white. Mm-hmm. You let me know. They may be gone by the time this podcast comes out, though.
What happened was you spent all this time, and I thought it looked great. It looked great. Your family was less enthusiastic about the reveal, and I'm trying to soften that, right?
Yeah.
The way you described it was Evelyn, not Evelyn's fault. Evelyn was at that point, I
probably
believe, three.
Two,
okay.
Yeah.
So it's not her job to care or provide Dada the validation that we need in our life.
Absolutely not. And
do we want that though? Absolutely.
She lived up to those expectations.
So it was very much the scene in Christmas Vacation where, Clark kind of gets some pats on the back from, in this scenario, it would be Annette. And Evelyn is the father-in-law who said, waste of time, waste of money.
You gave it a good old college try, Clark.
So this time, the big reveal, you said you wanted it. So did this, I guess first answer me, did the reveal happen to the family Wednesday night, the night before Halloween?
It did.
Okay. Can you give us a quick recap on how the reveal went? Because in my head, baby number 3's on the way. There were tears.
So to be clear, my wife was so impressed that she either said, impregnate me now, or it was some kind of immaculate conception, right, Mary Magdalene type thing.
Well, right, because as we talked about, you had, you was passed out from getting snipped a few years ago, so this would be, either way, a magical scenario that took place.
Yeah.
But I need to know then, and also maybe just joy from you not dying hours earlier, again, with the ladder wedged against the Comanche.
Yeah.
To the peak of the house.
Her emotions have gone all over the chart.
Been a whirlwind of a day for Annette. And we're not to disregard you, whirlwind day, literally whirlwind up at the top.
Sure.
For you. But Annette almost watched you die. Yeah. But now your life's work.
Wait, it sounds kind of weird when you say it like that.
The biggest achievement of your past 6 months is about to be, right? Like your biggest undertaking of the past 6 months is about to be
wiring the shop was pretty difficult. Remember, 2224 aluminum quadruplex wiring.
Upwards of 100 feet.
Still got 27 feet of it for sale on Marketplace if you're interested.
Left over from the 100. Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah.
So how did the unveiling go, and how joyous was the big reveal?
Kyle, when I tell you that I am not just the hero of the home, but the hero of the entire cul-de-sac.
Oh, wow.
I am not lying. We went outside. It was, kids usually go to bed at 7:30. So it was 7:30. Everybody was in their jammies, teeth brushed, fish were fed. Kids were basically climbing into bed. And
because now you planned the evening around pen in the 5 minutes.
Yep.
At the end of the night.
I had said to them earlier in the day, I said, if there's enough time, we'll go outside and we'll turn on the lights. So it was right before bed. The kids were in their jammies, had them put on shoes and their coats, came outside. Everybody stood back. We stood at the bottom of the driveway.
Can you kind of replicate how you did it? Because I'm curious if you do count down, count up. Do you do none of that? Do you just flip it? What do you do?
It was very Clark Griswold.
Drum roll, please.
I think there was a speech involved.
I want to thank everybody who was here today.
Talked about how this has been in the planning stages for months, if not years. Mm-hmm. I apologized once again for the lackluster effort that I showed the last couple of years with the C7s or C9s. Once again, up for sale on Marketplace. You got to help me figure out a price point.
Important clarification. The C7s or C9s, not lackluster. The effort Steve is talking about is just how he felt. I think you've been a Gobies man at heart since you put up those C7s. I
think that the kids had higher expectations, and that's what made me feel the worst, is that I let them down. So,
boy, I gotta say, therapy in 8 years for them is going to be really weird. When the first topic they bring up is the lighting lights. Situation when Evelyn was 3 and the Boulin Wall was an infant.
So we go out there. I give a speech. 10 to 15 minutes, roughly.
Boy, I got to tell you, I would like to see it go a little further. But
you were thanked in it, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to invite you over, but it was kind of late. Didn't want to disrupt your night.
Was I on? I thought about it on the way here. Was I on the phone call when you announced that you and Annette were having your first child? Yes. Mm-hmm. I think this is a little bigger. And I think this is a more personal moment for you. And I already know my place in this one. I already know that I am the architect of what happened here this past week.
Yeah. Open up the app. Mm-hmm. I'll see with the Govee app, obviously. You got to turn on the segments individually if you're a sucker. So, made sure that both of my lighting segments were set to Halloween C, I believe. There was like 5 different. There was Halloween A, B, C, D, E.
And while you're doing this, did you have them facing the road?
I did, yeah.
Okay, good. Of course.
Turned one on, turned on. Turned the second one on, turned around to make sure. Yep, turned on 2. Had them turn around. It's one of my proudest moments as a father. Because Evelyn's eyes were bright, big smile on her face. So much better than the C7, C9 incident of 2022. Nicky was kind of indifferent, but he's pretty much indifferent to everything.
Right. Yeah. Unless it's a truck or, some type of thing he can throw because he's a young boy. That's how it goes.
Yep. So Evelyn immediately said, "Can I play with the buttons?" Hey. I gave her the phone. I pulled up all the presets and she sat there for 10 minutes, just switching back and forth between firework and
just watching it.
Yeah. And, Christmas. And there was one for Easter where they're pastel colored. Again, we've talked about this before. Inexplicably, she put on the Dallas Mavericks.
She found the Mavs. Okay.
Mavericks is just blue. So this was already a proud moment. What made it even better is when I look across the street and I see the neighbor's front door open and their 2 kids who are roughly Evelyn and Nikki's ages. Their kids are about it. Like their daughter is about a year older than Evelyn. Their son is about a year older than Nikki. They're standing out on their front porch in their pajamas, oohing and aahing at my light display.
So they're swaying like the Who's in Whoville on the porch.
They ran over.
But in Halloween tone.
Yeah. They ran across the street and stood on our front lawn. I gave the phone to little Cam. I said, "Here you go, Cam. Hit those buttons." He's changing them to all different holidays and all different settings. Then the parents walked over. They said, "This looks great." We were trick-or-treating the next day, and Dustin across the street said, "Okay, so you went with, which ones, the Govies?" He's like, "Boy, I really want to do it. I think I'm going to do it." Fast forward another day, got a text from Justin. Yes, I have neighbors named Dustin and Justin.
I really don't like that. Again, this feels like a Croft and Barrow advertisement.
Justin says, "Hey, what kind did you get? I think we're going to pull the trigger." Oh. He said, "We could synchronize them."
Okay.
I said, "Absolutely."
It's a bit much.
We were trick-or-treating. Dennis, old man Dennis.
Yeah.
We go up to his house. He said, "I love what you did with the lights. Yeah. Lights look fantastic." His wife had already commented on them earlier in the week. I think I've started a revolution. And it's a Govee revolution. And it's taken place right here in this cul-de-sac.
I have to tell you, what I did not expect from this project when I brought it to your doorstep years ago.
Well, thank you very much once again. Again, you were thanked in the speech.
Yeah. Was that this would have somehow turned into a throuple situation, and now Steve's inherited a family.
Oh, what is this?
Right? Live from the 2024 Steve and Kyle election news desk, polls are open.
Oh. Okay. All right. I guess I expected a bit more in there.
Stay tuned for more election coverage before the podcast is over. Just a lot going on.
This podcast?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fluid situation.
That's
and we're
true,
here
yeah.
on election night, and we're giving you, the people, the rundown.
Burning the midnight oil.
From the Steve and Kyle election news desk. Because if you need accurate and up-to-date info, where else are you going to go?
Yeah, I mean, at some point we'll probably break down the electoral votes. You know, 200. What is it? 270 to win.
You need 270 to win, Stephen. I'm glad you brought that up. We've got to get to 270.
Hold on, do I have to?
Yeah. Live from the Steve and Kyle News 2024 election news desk. The electoral votes, as they currently stand now, Trump's going to need a sweep, Steve, of Georgia, North Carolina.
I look forward to hearing the end of your thought.
Polls are still open.
Polls open.
Now, a couple of avenues this can go, because we have something we have to get to at the end of the podcast here that is essential. But we're a few weeks removed from Reed's big birthday party at the trampoline park.
Of course, yes.
But we're also, I kind of revealed to you off air last week that I have a startling revelation to make to you regarding my life and career as a Halloweensman. And I'm curious which direction you want to go, because I'm always curious about your review on these birthday parties. You gave me tips and pointers over the years that I've mostly disregarded.
Well, maybe that explains some of the bad reviews.
So this year I took all of that and said, I'm not doing any of this anymore.
It's just pawned it off
and farmed it out to the trampoline park.
Boy, I mean, seeing as how Halloween is just recently in the rear view, I think I'd like to hear about that.
I've spent a lot of years, Steve, as a Halloween fanatic.
Halloweensman, as you
Halloweensman. And the spooky season for me starts September 1st. Okay. A little bit before that, even if we're like Reed and I, we'll go to the local like home decor store who will have big displays for Halloween. Even in like July, June, we're looking at stuff. We're going out to poke around.
You getting bargains that early? Probably not.
Not
right?
really bargains. Yeah. You're getting if there's something you want, or you're more likely to be able to find it available.
So are you going out looking to buy, or are you just looking for ideas? You're looking to see what looking to see what the new trends are for this year in spookiness?
No. I there's at places like this, it's very much like a home-centered Halloween. Like, so it's more fall harvest, but then they'll have like not spooky stuff, but Halloween centric, right? And for that stuff, I have so many Halloween decorations at home, Steve. It's stupid. It's really silly how many totes I have of holiday and Halloween decor.
I can say the same about my my holiday lights. By the way, on sale right now. I apologize for cutting you off, but look.
Listen, we're salesmen at heart, and I need you to get the details out there so people understand that if
you're
you
looking
need
for
a deal,
roughly 300 feet.
That's so many feet, by the way, when you think about it. For 98% of houses who are looking for lights, they're not going to know what to do with half of those.
No.
But if you're also looking for an idea, you buy the 300 feet at the deal of the century, and then you can turn around and flip half of those.
Exactly. This could become a money-making opportunity for you.
This is your very own version of liquidation mystery boxes that Steve partook.
I digress. Back to you.
So we started this early, and I love it. I never really stop. I watch horror movies year round anyway. Like, it's not a thing that I only turn on in the fall, but big fan, always have been. Decorated when I lived at home, would decorate my parents' house outside, would set up a bunch of stuff, dress up to hand out candy, all of that, all of the whole 9 yards for Halloween.
It's your thing.
And I think between last year and between this year, I've had this argument with my brother for years now because he does it to needle me and make me mad. Halloween for me is a tier 1 holiday. We've ranked them in the past. We don't need to go through that again. I have Christmas, and Halloween is tier 1. And after that, TBD. Don't care about the rest. And the last 2 years, I think, have taken enough out of me, Steve.
No.
I'm not ready to change tiers. So I'm not, I don't want anybody waiting with bated breath that I'm going to drop it a tier. I think I'm evolving or changing as a Halloweensman, and I don't know if I have it in me anymore.
Really?
I think my Halloween season that I like, that we as a family like, get excited about and do, I think it's too long, and I can't keep it up.
Well, I mean, you are celebrating it essentially for 2 straight months.
60 days. I've long held pride in the idea that my house, essentially from September through December, is some type of holiday going on or some type of decor happening there, because I love it. But the last few years, I've gotten to, I would say, almost like Reed's birthday, which is the 17th of October. And I thought, I've caught myself looking ahead. Like, I'm ready for this to be done.
Really?
And I'm ready for it to just be the solstice season.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's me growing old. I don't know if it's me burning myself out or what it is. But I think I might have to start going towards like the Steve approach. And
wait until October?
Some stacker pumpkins.
Stacker pumpkins they're always a good look.
I mean, I'm sitting here in the second week in September, Steve, getting totes of Halloween stuff out for Reed, and I love doing it when we put it up. He likes. I let him put most of it out, and when he goes to bed, we put it where it should go.
Because he's a kid.
Oh, he's dumb.
Kids don't know what they're doing.
6-year-old. He's drooling out of one mouth, farting out of the other end, and throwing sticks at walls. And next thing you know, he thinks there's a Halloween display. So I had purposely what really sent me over the edge this year was when you inspired me to do some DI Kyle.
Dick Kyle.
It's DI,
as we call it. Dick Kyle.
We built the jail cell on Reed's suggestion. Great idea. We built it.
Turned out nice. I saw the picture of it.
It did.
Great.
We had kind of kept it up by the house up until, I want to say it was the 29th of October. And the 29th of October, Steve, is also when you were 26, 24 feet high.
Prime Goviesman.
So you know the weather.
Very nice.
The 29th of October, when I put that thing, 10 feet forward, and it blew down twice and destroyed the entire jail cell. Oh, no. I think I'm done.
It didn't even make it to Halloween.
It didn't make it to, and I purposely held it back for weather-related reasons.
Did you stake it down at all?
No, but it was like a 50-pound thing, and it's not like it was super susceptible to the wind.
It wasn't big and top heavy or anything.
No, because it was just wood, wooden slats going up and down. Wind would hypothetically blow right through it. It's not catching any of that. But it didn't matter. The wind was heavy enough, and it was in the 40 mile an hour to 50 mile an hour gusts. And it must have been one of those, knocked it down once. Reed saw it, I think it was Halloween morning or the day before Halloween, went out, flipped the front light on. Dad, he sprinted out to the front, lifted it up himself, because I'm not going out there at that point.
Let him learn, kid.
Made him do it.
Figure out how to survive on your own.
And then I did it again. And Katie, I don't know, she goes, it's in bad shape. She was out there while I was finishing work Halloween with a drill and a handful of screws trying to screw this thing back together. I go out there at 5:02, right? Trick-or-treating starts at 6. I go out there at 5:02. I see 2 sides up still. One's leaning. The lights that I had wrapped, because I wanted it to be almost like a glowing, on fire, whatever. The lights had been taken off. The fake barbed wire had been taken off. 2 leaning sides are
fake
attached.
No, not real barbed wire?
Not this year. It's going to up the game.
Okay.
And I told her, just destroy it. Not just destroy it, but take the sides apart. We'll put stack the 3 jail cell sides up, throw it under the deck, and I'll reevaluate this next year. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
Oh boy. This is one of the most surprising things that I've heard from you. Because as I'm on my ascent up the mountain, you're coming down. You're sledding down. You're not even trying to walk down.
I think, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, I think I need some Steve help next year to rein me in. So when I come to you, like the week after Labor Day or the week of Labor Day, and I say, Steve, I got the totes out again. You know, we've got the decor going up.
Yeah.
You know, we're stretching that spider web that'll never come off those bushes, but we're stretching it out there.
Just leave it up year round.
Yeah.
I think
I need you.
Do you mind if I
listen, just you and me?
Just us.
And I'll pay you the podcast therapy fee, the PTF.
Just us here. I think you know what your problem is. Your problem is that you're going at it too early. You need to push it back to October 1. October 1 is the day that our inflatables come out. Well, the day they were supposed to come out, but I missed it by about a week.
We were a little late. Evelyn let you hear about that, if I remember.
Like October 6th, maybe 7th. I think you're putting too much into this. You have to back it up a bit. Back it up a couple weeks. Start it at the beginning of October. You know, you got leaves changing and all that crap. Cool, crisp in the air or whatever.
Apples and whatnot.
Yeah. Orchard. I don't know.
So here,
September 1st, I mean, it was still 90 degrees here.
It was very warm.
It was extremely
very warm.
Back it up a bit. Get a couple $100 together. Get yourself some govies.
Yeah.
I'll stop over. We'll put them up. We can even do the custom trim pieces that I might start selling them on Etsy. Actually,
I can tell you my Govee project would be a lot cheaper than yours too.
Sure. Yeah,
because I don't have as much roof line as the Manor.
You probably need maybe 100-footer.
Maybe like 100 and then a small like extension.
Look, I'll get y'all measured up, just like I was helping with neighbor Justin the other day.
Appreciate that.
We were over there. I walked over. I was like, no, he had an idea, and I was like, no.
He had some dumb ideas, did he? Oh God. You know what? See, some people,
it gave me a headache.
Some people can't be helped.
Some people you got to let them. It still hurts a little bit. I think that you have it in you, possibly, to be a Goviesman. I'm not sure, but I think you do.
I think I'm going to wait. I might put in an application, like around the first of the year.
Now, when's the next Prime Week? They have them like what, once every 3 weeks now?
Yeah. It seems like just wait a month.
Because I for a minimum investment.
So here's what gets me, and I was texting Katie about this, just to feed it as a father, and to feed it as a man, and to feed it as a Halloweensman.
Sure.
Because we put up, in my eyes, a lot of decorations, a lot inside, and I had told myself for the last few years, wait on a lot of the outdoor stuff that can blow away right to Halloween. And this year, we had a magical October here in Michigan.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was too nice. Would have preferred like 20
They call it suckers idiot fall, right? Because you wait 5 minutes and then it's construction season.
What do you mean it's going to be hot and cold? Over the course of a day? Brah! Construction. That's you. Trust me, if you're not that person, you know that person. Tell them to stop. Your state is not that unique. Weather changes everywhere. It's called the seasons.
Sometimes they're early. Sometimes they're late.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a day that doesn't really fall in line with the other days around it.
Oh, I put a coat on, it's 70. What do you mean it's going to be 45 later tonight when the sun goes down and it gets cold, the clouds are covering? Yeah, that's how it works. Sorry.
I'm drinking lemonade. It's got to be fall, right? What?
A winter cap? It's only October. I don't know what Bobcat's doing weather commentary now.
It just seems very, very much like Bobcat.
It is a Bobcat, that's a Bobcat Jerry Seinfeld bit somewhere in there. Right, about the weather changing, but being outraged about people being outraged by weather changing.
It's very meta.
It is. It's an inside baseball look at the comedy world with Bobcat Goldthwait doing Jerry Seinfeld being outraged by other comedy. A lot of levels. A lot of levels. So I put a lot out, so I'm texting Katie, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Stuff's blowing over. It's defeating. And then so I'm trying to explain this to Reed, because he's excited. So we, hey, we're outside. We're going to.
I'm listening, by the way.
No, I understand.
I'm just.
We're putting out, the foam gravestones were putting out all the stuff.
Yep, still listening.
And then that night or the next day, I'm like, hey, bud, overnight we lost a zombie hand that stuck in the yard and 2 gravestones.
Here you go. I'm just going to hand this over to you.
Oh, wow. This is that's a Govee layout I've ever seen. That's outside lower?
And that's not limited either, too. If you notice, there's like the ones across the top. You can go to...
I'm just going to set it to my emotions right now, Steve, so I'm just going to go to downpour. Do you have downpour in dark blue?
Yes, it's labeled Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas is the Mavericks. I appreciate the option to let your house know how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So
right there. That's the solution to all your problems. You got problems? Govee's got solutions.
So it's like Halloween, and I realize that we've lost so much stupid stuff that I've had for like 10, 12 years, right? Mm-hmm. The gravestones, whatever. And I tell that to Reed, and I've got a fog machine. He wants to set it up. I said, Reed, it's so windy. The fog is going to blow right into the sky. It's not going to work. We have a jumping spider, but it's supposed to rain. So I'm not going to pull out the jumping spider so I can get rain down beforehand. Okay. All of this stuff. And he looks and he says, oh, now we only have like 2 things up. Mm. And I said to him, I threw my hands in the air and took it out of my child. And I said, well, I'm sorry your Halloween's such a disappointment.
Jesus.
And I'm looking around the house and I'm like, man, we've got lights that are set to timer on our cupboards that have, stuff everywhere in this house.
You set the bar too high. You set the bar too high by doing 60-day long Halloween.
Yeah.
And you gotta scale it down. But once it hits, see, the advantage of the Govee lights, it gives you the option to do a soft introduce to the spooky season. So you can have those lights turn on maybe September 15th and start giving you a little bit of an orange and purple glow.
Yeah.
Let that build. Maybe not even every night. Maybe do a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm. Slow build. October 1st, that's when you really put the hammer down.
But I think next year I'm just going to act like Halloween's not going to happen.
I don't... I think that would... Yeah, that's going to put your kid in therapy.
To put a bow on this, I'm feeling bad because I love Halloween, but I'm feeling the week before Halloween, like I'm feeling out of it. Mm-hmm. And so we go trick-or-treating. The first time he has a friend come over to go
nice.
trick-or-treating.
Very nice.
And so the 6 of us, Katie, myself, a set of his parents, and the 2 kids, we go through
whoa.
Trust me, we just don't have time to get into it. I've thought about it as well. We're walking around, and I point to, I don't even know if it was one house, and talking about decorations. And they look at each other and go, oh, yeah, we forgot to put up any decorations for Halloween this year. Mm. We have all this stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, at least I tried. And it's not even that. Like, if I were to send you a picture of the inside of my house on October 30 or 31, you'd be like, hey, that's too much.
Halloween barfed everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. There's ceramic haunted houses. There's spooky lights. The yard. There's still spider web. A big spider web from the top of the house with a spider on it. I've got green eyeballs in the yard flashing everywhere. Like there's so much stuff. I thought, you know what? At least I did it.
Yeah.
But next year I need you to rein me in.
Not a problem.
So September 1st, just schedule a text right now.
Yeah.
September 1st, and just say stop. I'll know. Because I'll probably have a tote in my hands. And like a goblin mask.
and coming up out of the basement.
Yeah, and vampire teeth while I'm wearing a cape. And I'm going to ding, and I'm going to pause. So, put the tote over one shoulder, pull out my phone out of my pocket. I'm going to say stop. I'm going to nod my head.
Good point.
I'm going to turn around, go back down into the storage room.
Take your goblin teeth out.
Take the vampire. I'll up in a minute. That's me telling my family I'll be up in a minute. And I'm going to go put the Halloween stuff back.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we have that. I'll schedule that text in just a moment.
Thank you.
Oh, jeez. I'm just going to back up.
The wall needs to be broken down if Trump has any chance. Again, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia are must-wins for him just to get...
Okay.
Polls are still open.
Well, we cannot close out this episode without a major announcement.
Yeah, it's time.
It is absolutely time.
That's right, folks. And if you thought Kyle celebrated Halloween too early, how about the solstice season?
That's right. We are just months away.
Actual months away from the 9th annual
Steve and Kyle podcast,
Cloak and Dagger non-denominational winter solstice gift exchange. That's right. We don't celebrate the holidays here. We celebrate the solstice, the earth turning, rotating around that big ball of light in the sky.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. 3 seconds too long, it feels like. Okay, wrap it up, folks. Thank you. And they're all outside the door because we bring in the whole staff when we launch this every year. Ended up being tremendous turnout last year.
Yeah, it did.
We look back, I did not expect that there were this many people.
It was near record-breaking. I think we were like 2 or 3 short of the most we've ever had participate. If you're unfamiliar with this, here's what you do. You set aside $5, maybe $10, and you send us a message on either Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Say, I want to be involved in the 9th annual Steve and Kyle podcast, Cloak and Dagger non-denominational winter solstice gift exchange.
Right.
We will add your name to a spreadsheet that we keep here, and then you will be paired up with someone.
Random.
They will not know that you are the person giving the gift, but we will send you their name, address, and basically you just have to spend that $5 or $10 on a gift.
Yeah.
Send it their way. So everybody that participates will be getting a gift from somebody else.
Yes.
Whether you want to reveal to them who your identity, totally up to you. It can be revealed. It can be kept secret. It's just a fun time for people that listen to this podcast to come together, get a little trinket in the mail. Now, we always like to say, if you live in a town that's known for, I don't know, maybe there's a kind of potato chips that everybody eats. Maybe throw that in there.
Yeah.
Just little trinkets, or sometimes they reference the podcast in some ways. A lot of times people will go into our merch store.
That's right.
And order stickers or something like that and send them as their gift. But
yeah, this is the one.
We have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, this is the time of year where I love watching this. The community of people, however small, it doesn't matter to me how large or small this community who listens to this podcast is. Seeing the turnout for this, and then seeing those images come through our social media of what people send and what people receive. Always one of my favorite times of the year.
Yeah.
Watching people receive fun gifts, useful gifts, silly gifts, podcast related gifts,
useless gifts,
mostly useless gifts. Again, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Steve and Kyle. We'll be posting this on there multiple times throughout the next 3 or 4 weeks. We should look at a calendar, Steve, and get a cutoff date. Usually we end this right around December 1st. So I would say as long as you message us in the month of November on any of those platforms and say you want in, your responsibility at that point is to, just like Steve said, send a gift, 5, 10, 15. I wouldn't spend much more than that, to somebody that you receive their name and address of, and you'll receive something else as well. Now, I don't want there to be this obligation that you don't know if you can afford it. If you can't, if you sign up and something changes in your personal life, whatever, totally understand.
No problem.
Message us. We'll take care of it for you.
We'll figure it out.
Or we'll go ahead and update the list if we can remove you. I don't want people to feel bad if they can't partake. This is something that should be fun and kind of not make you feel tense or nervous about, am I doing this right, or can I afford it?
Yeah, don't stress out about this at all.
Now, last year we did, and I want to bring this back this year. Last year, if you sign up, want to do what, we will choose another person at random, I think this year, and send a little Steve and Kyle podcast care pack.
Did we do that? Oh, that's right. Person. We did do that last year.
Sent last year, I believe, our friend Mark Calhoun in the UP got, I believe, a Jeep trinket, a USPS board game, and I forget what the other item. There was like 2 or 3 different items that we had sent to our friend Mark Calhoun in the UP. So yeah, we choose that at random. If you sign up, you're in the running for a care pack from us as well. All of us here on the staff take part in this. I love it. And get your name in early.
You can send it as early as probably December 1st, 2nd, or 3rd is when we'll send out names to everybody. We just ask that you kind of get it to the other person in a timely manner so that they're not sitting there in January, the only person who didn't receive a gift after they sent theirs out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looking forward to this. Let's break the record this year.
Yeah, I don't know what the record is, but it's a good-sized number. And I'm always kind of taken aback by how many people end up joining this. I love seeing it. Again, get your name in early. Start thinking about those gift ideas. Put together a little care package for your giftee. I know I already got my gift for the lucky soul on staff here. Whoever I draw in the exchange.
You got
cannot wait.
You got Doug again?
I can't give it away. I'll tell you off air. I'll tell you off air what I got for this lucky person, but I cannot wait to see this come to fruition again this year. Solstice Sammy, out and about, celebrating the solstice season.
All you have to do, send us a message again, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. It's at Steve and Kyle, all the social media platforms. Just give us your full name and your mailing address or wherever you want it mailed to.
Yeah.
Let us know. I know that just double check that you're sending us the correct address. We've had some issues in the past where maybe people have been in the process of moving or, for one reason or another, they give us an incorrect address. We just want to make sure everything gets to where it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. We're going to copy paste. You send us that address, we're going to copy and paste it into our spreadsheet, and that's what we're sending. So if it's incorrect on your end, there's a chance it's going to be incorrect on your gift giver's end. And we obviously would like to avoid that. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Please
I love when I start seeing the posts pop up on social media with hashtag garbage gifts of people's hauls that they get from complete strangers.
Every year, I always love seeing. I think last year someone got a literal garbage bag size of potato chips, which is delightful. Just delightful.
Absolutely. All right.
Thanks in advance, everybody. And again, we'll remind you over the course of the next 3 or 4 weeks. I don't want to say we're going to badger you, but it'll be all over our social media. We'll mention it on each episode as well to get in.
All right. At Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Keep an eye out. Are we going to post that picture?
It's getting posted one way or another. We're going to figure out how to do this to remove enough features. You have to see why Steve is now the newest reason Steve is regarded as the head-shaking neighbor in the cul-de-sac.
But I'm also bringing people together.
That's true. Again, the new Steve thruple or quadruple family as you've inherited family.
I am so happy about this. I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you how happy I am that neighbors have approached me saying, "You're doing it right. Your light setup is the best in the neighborhood."
Yeah. Steve has now made other families' kids cry because they're not as good.
Yeah.
As your house.
That's my goal.
Unbelievable.
My goal is to exert my dominance over the other dads in the neighborhood.
And congratulations and apologies to those other families.
Yeah. All right. At Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check it out. We will talk to you next week. See ya.
And now, another installment of Appliance Triumphs from your friends at Grand Appliance. Meet Lucy. Lucy came home with a huge grocery haul, only to find a fridge on the fritz. But Lucy knew exactly what to do.
I just called Grand Appliance. My salesperson found a great in-stock option and had it delivered next day.
In a race against the clock, trust the experts at Grand Appliance. Shop grandappliance.com or a store near you today.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Toyota's lineup of cool, colorful vehicles is ready to ride by your side. Take on fall in a trail-tackling Tacoma or go for the powerful Tundra. Head to Toyota.com for more info or visit your local Toyota dealership today. Toyota, let's go places.